Speaking of lying, did you see the interview that Donald Trump did with Kristen Welker? Did you see that interview? Yeah. So in the interview with Kristen Welker on MSNBC, you would think after Donald Trump won an election that he would put 2020 to bed and he would finally admit that he lost. Nope. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about the 2020 election. It continues.
If I won that election, which you know how I feel about it, I won't get into it because we don't need to start that argument. I think it's an easy argument. It was really proven even more conclusively by the win that I had on this one. But
you did get it, sir.
Well, that's your opinion, but
okay.
I disagree with it.
He disagrees with it. How about that? He disagrees with it. So I do find that interesting that he just won an election. He just won. And he still is not willing to concede. That's right. He still is not willing to say that he lost in what was a free and fair election. And she presses him on this issue, and he continues.
Sir, I don't have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No. Why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president. I'm not. And he has been a divider.
Yeah, Joe Biden is the divider. That's right. It's not Donald Trump. Joe Biden's the divider. And here he goes again with the nonsense that somehow 2024 was too big to rig. It was rigged in 2020, the reference, but it couldn't have been rigged because he won.
Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they are going around stealing elections, why
didn't
they
do it this time? When you say Democrats have control now?
Of the White House.
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
It's too big to rig. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is who, 48% or so of the people who voted for an idiot who still will not admit that he lost the 2020 election. It was too big to rig. Oh, it's so gross. And people are so stupid in this country that they still believe this idiot. They believe every word he says. There are moron Republicans, some of the dumbest people that America has to offer on the far right, that still believe every word that Donald Trump says, and they think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. Even as horrible of a human being as Donald Trump is, you would think he just won. He can't run for re-election. He can't run for anything else. You would think he would finally own it and say, hey, you know what? 2020 was over with. I know there were a lot of issues, but Joe Biden won fair and square. Like, you would think after all this time, but it's only fair if he wins, according to these idiot Republicans. It was only a fair election if Donald Trump wins. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump will never admit that he lost the 2020 election. This is the idiot that some of you put back into office. This is the lying buffoon that you guys voted for. What a joke. I hope you guys are really happy. When your 401k goes down the toilet, when NASDAQ goes down the toilet, your stocks plummet, when inflation rises, when unemployment rises, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the Biden administration. Oh, I'm sure. You'll blame George Soros. You'll blame Democrats. But not Cheeto Jesus. Not, oh, Lord and Savior, the orange Cheeto Jesus Messiah, Donald Trump. And this is the part in the interview where Welker said, because you remember Donald Trump said he believes that Liz Cheney should go to jail, and he made references to people shooting at her. And he doesn't hold back. Listen to when Welker asked him, should Liz Cheney go to jail? Listen to this exchange.
And Cheney was behind it. Well, and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what
Everyone on the committee, you think?
I think everybody, anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
Not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that. But I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. Well, Mr. President, what's the crime? What did they do? They embarrassed you with facts. But I'm just curious. Can you please explain to us in detail, not even in detail, just tell us what's the crime that they committed? What's the crime that Liz Cheney committed? What's the crime that Adam Kinzinger committed? What did they do? Investigate? What did they do? See, he won't be able to articulate a crime, but he'll just throw stuff at a wall. Remember when he said, I'm going to hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton? Couldn't name the crime. Never hired a special prosecutor. This is all nonsense. And it's all lies.